Everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are preparing for NEET, then today's chapter is extremely important because this is the foundation chapter of biology. Many students think the living world is easy and skip it, but NEET asks direct NCERT lines and tricky conceptual questions from this chapter every year. So in this video, I'll explain the chapter from basics, exactly according to NCERT, in a very simple and logical way, so that by the end of this video you won't need to mug up anything. So take your NCERT book, keep a pen with you, and let's start. First question I'm going to ask you all is, what do you mean by living? So when we try to define life, we usually think that living organisms grow, reproduce and move. However, NEET does not accept oversimplified answers. Biology defines life based on scientific characteristics, not casual observations. Living organisms show organization, metabolism, growth, reproduction, and response to stimuli. We understood living organisms show organization, metabolism, growth, reproduction, and response to stimuli. Now let us understand growth in detail. How you define growth? All living organisms grow, right? In multiple cellular organisms, growth occurs by increase in number or cells through cell division. In unicellular organisms like amoeba, growth and reproduction are often the same process because cell division directly increases their number. However, growth is not a defining property of life because non-living objects such as crystals, mountains and sand dunes also increases in size, right? The difference is that non-living objects grow by eternal deposition, whereas living organisms grow from inside. Therefore, growth alone cannot be used to define living organism. Get into reproduction. Reproduction is important but not universal. So, how do you define reproduction? So, reproduction is the process by which living organisms produce new individuals similar to themselves. It can be sexual and it can be asexual. In sexual, we can see binary fusion, budding, and spores. Many organisms like bacteria, fungi, hydra show asexual reproduction. Higher organisms like humans show sexual reproduction. However, reproduction is not a defining property of life. This is because some living organisms such as mules, worker bees, and infertile human couples do not reproduce, yet they are alive. Hence, reproduction is important but not universal, as I said before, and hence cannot define life. Now let's get into metabolism, the most important concept. Metabolism refers to all chemical reaction occurs inside a living organism. This reaction include anabolism and catabolism. And what does anabolism means? Building reactions, and catabolism means breaking reaction. Every living organism from bacteria to humans carry out thousands of metabolic reactions simultaneously. A very important NCERT statement is metabolism is a defining feature of living organisms. Although metabolic reaction can be demonstrated outside the body in a test tube, isolated reactions are not living. Only cellular metabolism inside a living system represents life. This is one of the most repeatedly asked lines in NEET. Let us understand cellular organization. All living organisms are made up of cells, right? Some organisms are unicellular and while others are multicellular. Let us understand what is unicellular and multicellular means. So unicellular organisms are made up of one cell. That single cell does all functions like respiration, digestion and reproduction. Example, amoeba and bacteria. And multicellular organisms are made up of many cells. Different cells do different jobs. Example, humans, plants and animals. Easy line to remember is one cell is unicellular and many cells means multicellular. Okay, now you understood what multicellular and unicellular is. Let's get back to our topic. So, even in complex organisms, which are multicellular organisms, life exists because of cellular organization, and non living objects do not have cellular structure. Hence, cellular organization is a fundamental characteristic of life. Now, let us understand consciousness and response to stimuli. Living organisms have the ability to sense their environment and respond to it. This response may be physical, chemical, or biological. Example: plants respond to light, water, and gravity. Animals respond more actively due to a nervous system, and humans show the highest level of response and our self consciousness. NCERT clearly states consciousness become the defining property of living organism. This line is extremely important for NEET. That's it for today's video. In next video, we will continue with diversity in the living world. If you understood today's explanation, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more and clear concept based biology lessons.